Now let's go to the Republican reaction to the I was going to say the Tea Party. Well, we're going to get to that as well because the contrast there is amazing. But let's go to the Republican reaction to Occupy Wall Street movement. Here's Karl Rove. He says, what are these people for? To the degree that they're for anything, it's left-wing nuttiness. One is a Constitution-loving, law-abiding people, referring to the Tea Party. And this is a group of left-wing nuts whose goal it is to violate the law. I love that. If it's our side, well, then they're great Americans who are here to help America and exercise their constitutional rights. If you can exercise your constitutional rights and you don't agree with Karl Rove, oh, you're a bunch of nuts who are lawbreakers. What laws did they break? What laws did they violate? You don't have an answer to that, right? Because they didn't violate any laws. You just want to smear them because you don't like them endangering your banker friends. Karl Rove is Bank Incorporated. That's all he wants to do is protect the bankers. That's the entire Fox News and Republican establishment anyway. Get a load of all their hypocrisy on Tea Party versus the Occupy movement. Here, watch this. Let's go to Fox and Friends, clip number 14.
Get ready to Tea Party.
The Tea Party Express will make 35 stops across the country, giving Americans a constructive outlet.
That sort of has been the implication, has it not? That you're just this fringe element. Put that to rest this morning.
How many of those people had to call in sick yesterday from work, or do you think they may not just have jobs?
Yesterday, one of the women she was actually asked if one of the banking executives came down and offered you a job, would you take it? And she said no. So that may be the answer on the jobs.
Or would this apply to Occupy Wall Street? Half-wits talk much, but say little.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Tea Party constitutional heroes that, of course, put everything aside because they are sacrificing for their country. The Occupy Wall Street, they don't even have jobs. They're unemployed. Losers. Do you sense any difference there in the coverage on Fox and Friends? Well, Think Progress has done a great job of looking at all the different Fox shows. Bless their hearts. Thank God we didn't have to do it. Go to clip, and by the way, Rush Limbaugh as well. Let's show you Rush Limbaugh first. Clip 15.
I've been saying since these Tea Parties started that I'm just proud as I can be of everybody showing up. You know, I was 10 years old, Snurdly. When I was 10 years old, I was more self-sufficient than this parade of human debris calling itself Occupy Wall Street.
What kind of a propagandist does he sound like when he calls people human debris? It harkens back to a country in Europe that shall not be named that had similar propagandists, right? Human debris. By the way, on self-sustaining Rush Limbaugh. I read a book. I had the great misfortune of reading a book about Rush Limbaugh's life story. You know that loser dropped out of college because he couldn't hack it? Not because, like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, he had some brilliant business idea. No, he had nothing. He couldn't do it. He was an idiot. So he went back home and lived with daddy. And he's like, and his dad was so embarrassed of him. And Rush Limbaugh has been trying to make up for that his whole life, trying to prove to daddy that he's worthwhile, because he had to slink back home and go, I couldn't do it in college, Dad. I'm sorry, I'm a loser. Can I live in the basement? That's what Rush Limbaugh was doing, not at the age of 10, but well into his, past 18 and into his 20s. What happened now, loser? Okay? Now you want to talk about how people can't get a job, et cetera, and how self-sustaining you were at 10. You were living off your dad's property for all that time. Please, okay? And he was just a fat, roly-poly kid who would walk around and be like, oh my God, my dad isn't approving of me. I can't do well. It's because his dad was a lawyer and he couldn't match up. That's why he was so embarrassed of Rush. All right, now we're back to Fox News, clip number 16.
I got to tell you, this is a movement. This is a grassroots movement that's not going to go away.
It's still the most vibrant political movement of the last few years from the grassroots level. It's hard to say exactly what they are for.
Maybe it's a rite of passage for rich young people to assuage their guilt. And what better target than protesting someone who's even richer?
I don't think they'll have much influence, frankly.
Yeah, is there anyone more unbearable in the country than Stuart Varney? I mean, there's a lot of guys on Fox News and Rush, et cetera, that you can't stand. But with that accent, I'd rather these people power, please. Wait a minute, I don't get it. First, they were unemployed bums. Now, in this clip, Fox News is implying that they're incredibly rich. Which one is it? Are they bums or are they rich? Which one? Or you just want to smear them in every way you can? Final clip from Think Progress. Here's Mike Gallagher.
You're what makes this country great. That's why you're here. This is a Tea Party. This stupidity is spreading, and the president is spurring these dopes down here who need to take a bath once a week.
Oh, really? Now all of a sudden, people who are protesting are not heroes anymore, they're dopes. Unsurprising. God, the hypocrisy on how they do it, and they don't even blink an eye. They're like, okay, yeah, here it is, okay? Tea Party, awesome. 99 movement, horrible. Yeah, so what? Who cares? What's the difference? They don't care about their hypocrisy. One last thing. Rush Limbaugh, your dad's still embarrassed of you.